Welcome everybody to Bugbears and Brews. My name's Brian, and today we're recapping our first session of the Tomb of Annihilation campaign that we started. I'm not going to cover the characters or their motives for being here. If you want to know that information, there's a zero session video that kind of recaps the basics there. So start off with you guys meeting with Syndra. Syndra let you know that she's dying from a curse, a death curse that's going on that's impacting anybody that has been resurrected before and anybody who's died over the past couple weeks here. People that have died over the past couple weeks, no sort of restoration, bring you back to life type of magic is working, and the people that have been resurrected seem to be slowly deteriorating. So for her own good, she sent you guys off to Port Naranzaru to start looking for an object called the Soulmonger. The Soulmonger is supposed to be some sort of soul-catching device, which is probably causing the issues here. For your carrot and stick type deal, she gave you 20 gold upfront funding for each of you, and then offered you one magic item of your choice upon completion as long as it's within reason, she said. From there, you guys did a little back and forth. Did find out that she did send other people, and she said, why put all your eggs in one basket? It's better to send multiple groups here, so let's send you off as well. And from there, she teleported you to Port Nyanzaru. And immediately, I tried to point out that you guys are in a completely different playscape that you've ever had before. Kind of going with the somewhat tropical, very colorful motif going on. We have dinosaurs walking around. We have kids chasing dinosaurs, dinosaurs chasing kids. Tabaxi, which really pleased Don, right? Tabaxi minstrels hanging around. Even had a Triton just walk in the middle of your guys' conversation, not paying attention at all. And from there, Syndra kind of let you know she's going to be hanging out at Wakanga's house of one of the merchant princes, or his villa, I should say. And you guys, your first job is to probably find a destination, some way to figure out a lead, and then from there try to solidify a guide and set out on an expedition to the jungle. From there, your real first stop was to find a place to stay. Luckily, Syndra gave you guys a couple ideas. She said, for the nicer folks, you might want to stay at Kaya's House of Repose. For the more rough and tumble folks, go ahead and stay at Thundering Lizard. No real big events at either of the inns, minus... forgive me here, I gotta look up names. Naivar, who's played by Don. When he got to Kaya's House of Repose, sadly, Leorin, Jose's character, took the last of the rooms with a good view at the normal price. And so Don had to pay a premium, but his room came with like this ice insulated, or this wall that's insulated with ice. So the room was like really cool, like in temperature wise. And so at first he haggled a bit, but after getting in there and realizing the benefits of having this, he was pretty happy. And there's some nice amenities that came in there as well, bug netting, all sorts of free drinks, and nice complimentary fruit bar, that kind of stuff there. Thundering Lizard came with none of that. They actually had runners that would go over and steal the fruit that they were throwing away and bring it back over, and like the half-empty drinks, pour them out into like a mystery pitcher, and you can buy a buy a drink off the mystery pitcher there. Next up, you guys gathered some information, tried to find out where you can go shopping, do a little bit of shopping there. Mainly, Naivar and Leorin wanted to get some more traditional looking, wanted to fit in with the group, fit in with the local people, that kind of stuff there. So they went off to the Red Bazaar. And so you guys went off to the Red Bazaar while Naivar and I'm going to stumble a couple times on this, and I apologize. It's learning new names after like a year of using old names. Naivar and Leorin, they went off and bought some clothes. Naivar came back in like the most immaculate looking, natural-esque, like he wanted to look like upper crust people here, so he fit in really well. Leorin came back in somewhat similar clothes, but not nearly as transparent and airy. Not that Naivar's were transparent, but they were very silhouette. You know, you get the light behind, you can easily see silhouettes of most things there. The other group, the rest of the group went off and found some bug repellent. You guys were able to buy some like smear-on bug repellent as well as some incense. You stocked up a bunch on that because already just being here this little bit, you were smacking bugs away. You saw that Triton once again wandering around, just kind of checking things out. Fitz, being a butcher and wanting to kind of one-up the folks staying at the nice place, went to go buy a cut of meat to cook up. Sadly, beef in this area isn't really well, I don't want to say well respected, but it's not as readily available, and so what's out there isn't as nice as what you could get back on like the main area of the realm. And so you guys kind of like, you know, what else can I get? Next thing the butcher talked about, you know, you can do some dinosaur, but you didn't want to go the dinosaur route. And then they brought you, you know, showed you some, I forget the name of it, the snake cat hybrid thing, and you guys thought, you know, he thought that was way too lean. Eventually started talking like, hey, you know, show me what you really got. And the guy took him in back and showed him veggie pygmy, which is kind of like plant people. And he's like, that's a little bit too weird. I'm just going to go with the cut of beef, even though if it's not exactly the prime stuff, that's what he's going to go with. So he had his cut of beef. You guys had your insect repellent. The rich folks had their clothes, and from there we went to figure out a guide. So we went to a like a notice board, and I really took some time on this one here. I'll put a link to all the pictures of the flyers I made, but I handmade all these flyers for each of the different guides. And kind of explained a little bit of what they can offer, what their fees are, and try to do it all in sorts of different handwriting, and you know, try to play up that some people are a little bit more relaxed about things. Some people are really formal. Some people seem like they might be a little bit more fun. And so I really liked your guys' reaction to that, even though I posted like a hint picture the night before about it. Just having you guys interact with that board I thought was really fun. And during that time, the Triton came up and was like, oh, what are you guys doing? And the Triton was actually Aaron's character. He had a bit of a delay due to some personal issues, so had to come in a little bit later. So he joined the group just kind of like, I'm here, you guys need a local. Little do they know, the local he was talking about is he's from like the Bave Chalt down there versus up here Chalt, so he doesn't really know the top side. So they took him on thinking he's more of a local versus a water local. So out of the flyers you took Azaka, Mashrab, Quasha, and some flyer for paint. And the flyer for paint kind of stood out to you guys. I wish I would have grabbed it from my bag here. And the flyer for paint was like, hey, don't forget your purple paint when you go on your expeditions, but the word purple was in green text, and it had a serpent on it with wings, and it was a hidden message. So I kind of laced in some information to Tim, like, hey, here's some things you can pick up on having your underground connections. And he said, you know, so he pointed out to the group, like the snake flying there, it's typically a Zint symbol. However, in this area, it's not. It doesn't seem like it's that uncommon. You guys saw several flying snakes just hanging around with kind of noble-esque people. So, you know, it's not something that'd be overlooked as like, or standing out like, oh my god. And then the word purple being in the green text. And so you guys thought, let's go check that out first, because there was another reference on another flyer that was talking about, you know, don't trust people that aren't openly advertising either. So you went over to the paint shop, and you know, after a little bit of talking with them and trying to get the proper code words across, the shop front guy closed up all the doors, locked the windows, could lock the windows, close the blinds, lock the door, open up a hatch, and two tabaxis came down. Names were River and Flask, and they are a guide duo. I think they're brother and sister. I don't recall right off the top of my head there. And they work for four gold a day, no upfront fees. And the main thing is that they do not cut in the merchant Prince Jalaro, I think. I forget the name of the merchant prince that is in charge of the expedition guides. They don't report to him. They would rather piss in his face than let him know, get any cut of their money. So, you guys were able to work out a little bit of a deal there, but you're also doing things a little bit on the sly side there. Little bit of haggling back and forth. Tried to kind of come up with some numbers for the expedition. You guys don't have a location to go to yet, but you're trying to ballpark on what the expedition was going to cost you. And so with that, I kind of had you, Don primarily started adding up all these things. He wanted just like a straight up, give me this number, give me the number that what we're aiming for. And I wanted you guys to come upon that number naturally. And it was 200 gold plus your daily expenses, like your $4 for the gold, $4 for the guys for the day, and your food. So 200 gold plus your daily expenses if you didn't need canoes, 300 if you did need canoes. So you guys were quite a bit short on money, so you decided let's go back and talk with Syndra. Went over to Wakaga's place, handed his doorman Syndra's card. Wakaga and Syndra came down, and clearly there's something going on between Wakaga and Syndra, even though there's quite an age difference there. Syndra being, early 50s or so, where Wakaga was like mid-30s. Wakaga agreed to give you guys a 200 gold loan to help fund the expedition. However, you have to bring him back something of equal value. He's not charging interest or anything like that, but he wants something of equal, art object of equal value brought back with him. And then I brought in some topics, started talking about the dinosaur races, and people are like, hey, we can bet on that, and that was kind of frowned on. But then Fritz was like, Fritz, played by Tim, was like, you know what? I can jockey one of these dinosaurs, and just kind of like up-talking himself that way. Syndra might notice him a little bit. At least that's my guess why he was doing it. It just happened to be Wakanga's jockey hurt himself, and he had nobody to ride any of his dinosaurs for tomorrow's races. And there's 3 races, and he asked. Wakanga asked Fitz, what are you up to? What can you race? And Fitz is like, you bring it, I can ride whatever. So, lo and behold, we jump to the next day. We're at the dinosaur races, and Fitz is about to race on a T-Rex. So from here, Fitz, played by Tim, controlled his T-Rex, and then I gave all the other players, because they weren't involved in the race, they were racing the enemy dinosaurs. And so I could open up the book right here, but who rode what is not really important. The main things here to point out, like the fun things about the race, Mark immediately on the Allosaurus, he got off to a great start, was booking it, and was almost across the finish line before like anybody else was at the a third the way mark. And his Allosaurus went berserk, and instead of putting down the Allosaurus as is about to munch on the rider, they put down the rider instead, because you guys clearly picked up that the dinosaurs are worth more than the jockeys. Anthony, the Dimitridon, had a really bad start. He didn't move anywhere for ages. I think it was like 5 or 6 rolls. And even then when he moved, he only had a speed of 30 feet per round, where like the Allosaurus and the T-Rex had like 50 feet of movement or something like that. Tim playing Fitz had a really bad start as well. I waived the Berserk fee on Tim's dinosaur for the first little bit there. And we'll get back into Berserk talk here in a little bit. He had a really rough start, but towards the middle, or like towards the end, he started doing really, really good. Jose, Don, and Aaron, you guys had a really good 3-way tie going between you guys for second place, but you guys were also doing a really good job fighting each other and trying to attack each other during the race. And then as Fitz is blowing by everybody at the very end, he's like 50 feet from the finish line. His T-Rex goes berserk. He gets thrown off, and he's about to get chomped on, and that's going on. Believe it or not, Anthony on the slow-ass Dimitridon crosses the finish line in first place. So even though he had the roughest start, the slowest dinosaur, he came in first. That's where we wrapped up. So we had this T-Rex, young T-Rex, looming over Fitz, getting ready to get chomped on, and Fitz is worried that he's going to get all these spears thrown at him and get put down. we got a lot of stuff covered for this session, considering that we kind of had a little bit of zero session stuff going into it. We had a little build up. We did a lot of the zero session stuff via email, but we still talked about a couple things and had a little bit of late start. So we got going really good pace. I think we had a lot of fun already. I'm really looking forward to continuing this. Already just geek. Don brought up a good point, and I agree. I didn't quite like the berserk mechanic for the people that were riding the meat-eating dinosaurs. If I would do the race again, first off, I wouldn't do it with like 25 minutes left like we had this time around. I would do is go ahead and get like a little stat sheet or stat card for everybody and hand them out. But I wasn't expecting to get the dinosaur races today. We got further than I expected. Not that I didn't like prep and read and that kind of stuff, but I just didn't have that kind of stuff there. I really liked having the physical things for you guys. The map, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I gave the characters or players a physical map that they can go ahead and update as they need, as they see, whatever they want to do. I really like the way you guys interacted with the notice board. There's going to be a bit of a lull where we're not going to have a whole lot of those like prop type deals, but I'm going to try to bring some of those props back. Not those flyers, but like that prop mechanic back. You guys seem to really enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It's something I could sit down and do and knock out while I had a beer or two. So I'm going to go. Really enjoyed this first session. Zero session was great. We have good characters. We have already good rapport going. Really good fun environment going already, and I'm really excited. I already got plans for what's going to happen with the T-Rex and Fitz, and it's just going to be good. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.